Right, time for another tier list. These are books that I read in elementary school. Some of them were books that I had to read in class, and some are books that I was read to at home or I read on my own. So I'm going to go ahead and start with The K. This one, I believe I read it in my class. It was read to us as sixth graders, I believe. And this one, it definitely made me think. I thought it was so interesting. This little rich boy stranded in a boat and then on an island, and he's stuck with this servant guy. I believe he was a black guy. I don't remember where he was from, but yeah, it was like this really interesting dynamic, and the like his eyes are opened even though they're closed because he was blinded by something, and his eyes are open to like his own racism and stuff. I don't know. I thought it was really interesting. I read it as a child and I intend to read it to my child. I haven't gotten around to it just yet though. So I'm gonna say I loved this one. It definitely made me think, and I remember it being really interesting, really good. I thought it was a really important story. I don't feel like it beats you over the head with the racism, but then I was also a child, so I don't know. Maybe it does. I enjoyed it. And then another book I read in sixth grade, I distinctly remember this one because it traumatized me. So this is called Earthquake at Dawn. It's about the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. And like, I don't remember too much about the lead up to the book, but then after the earthquake happens, there are some pretty serious things in there, and I had a hard time with it. I feel like maybe if I had realized that, like the level of, there were some people who were wounded, and it was a little scary how they described it in my personal, but I'm also really sensitive, so it might not bother other people. I do remember another content warning, trigger warning. There was someone who was stuck in a burning building and they had no way down, and they they did not wish to live anymore. It was there were a lot of sad things in this book, and I was not prepared for that at sixth grade. Okay, let's go to I feel like this might be another sad one. Okay, where the red fern grows. I remember this one in fifth grade. We read this, and again, what's with all this violence in these children's books? So, I remember there was a character who trips and severely gets wounded, and I believe one of the dogs goes like gets rabies or something, and then that doesn't end well. So, anyway, suffice to say, this had content in it that I was not prepared for, did not love. So, Hatchet, one more. This one was also in fifth grade, and there was also content that was, trigger warning. He at one point feels pretty miserable, doesn't want to be stuck on this island anymore. Or I guess it wasn't an island specifically, but he doesn't want to be stuck on his own anymore. And he has a hard time coping with that. And I'm not going to go into details, but it very much distressed me at fifth grade. So I did not love it. I know some people really like The Hatchet, and there are the subsequent books that go with it, but I did not love it. All right, I think we've gotten rid of the sad ones. So anyway, well, I mean, Fahrenheit 451 is still sad, but this was a sad I could handle. My mom read this one to me when I was in fourth grade, and I really loved it actually. I thought it was fascinating. I've read it a few times. I intend to read it to my son, hopefully soon. We'll see. We've got so many books to get through. This one, I also got to see this before I went into high school. The high school I was going to performed this play, and it was really well done. So, I mean, I could put it in Shaped My Childhood because I do feel like this was an important book for me. I'm gonna just leave it in Loved though. Um, two more. Let's do Nancy Drew. And I'm just collectively putting all her books here. I did not read this one specifically, but you can just see, look at that crocodile or alligator. I'm sorry, I can't tell from this picture, but like, man, Nancy Drew, so fun. Just, I really loved them. I would say, as a child, I would have put this as part of my personality. There was a period, everyone wants to have a nickname, and I didn't have a nickname, and so I was like, oh, you should call me Nancy. And so I really love Nancy Drew. I read all the books that I owned, which, to be fair, wasn't a ton, maybe a dozen or so. I think since it's no longer part of my personality, I would still like to read them. Like, this one looks really fun. Maybe I'll read them with my son or have him read at least one of them so he can know that part of my childhood. I'm going to leave it right here, and it shaped my childhood for sure. Okay, and then the last one for today, The Little Prince. This book, it means so much to me, really it does. I could put it in any of these top three, even made me think, there's a lot of little philosophical things in there too. I love this book. Definitely shaped my childhood. I think I think I'm gonna go ahead and put it up here in part of my personality. Um, Maybe I'll make a video about why this is so important to me. But all right, I'm gonna leave this here for now. These are just a small handful of books that I read in elementary school, and there you go.